Hi everybody, my name is Miro Svoboda. I'm the host of Easy Retirement with Miro. Today we'll be talking about your TFSA, and more specifically we'll be talking about one of the most common mistakes that we are seeing that people are making with their TFSA, and that is people are not taking advantage of the successor holder designation. So let's look at what it actually means. What is a successor holder? First of all, you can only appoint your spouse or a common law spouse as a successor holder on your TFSA, and when you ultimately pass on and you did appoint your spouse as a successor holder, the full market value of your TFSA will roll over to your spouse's TFSA, even though she or him might not have the contribution available. As long as that person is appointed as a successor holder, full market value of your TFSA will roll over into your spouse's TFSA on your passing. Now let's look at all beneficiary options within the TFSA in more detail. Well, first of all, if you do not appoint a beneficiary, your estate is the beneficiary by default, and then the TFSA would be divided according to what's in your will. So step number one is to have a will. Obviously, hopefully you do have a will. The disadvantage of this option, having your estate as the beneficiary of your TFSA, is that the proceeds of your TFSA, even though these proceeds will still go tax-free, probate fee would be applicable to these proceeds. So if you're appointing your estate as the beneficiary of your TFSA, you are not avoiding probate. Option number two is appointing a beneficiary on your TFSA. And as a matter of fact, you could appoint multiple beneficiaries, and one of these beneficiaries could be your spouse, which we believe is a mistake, which I will explain further. So when you appoint somebody as a beneficiary of your TFSA, that person would receive proceeds of your TFSA on a tax-free basis, and also these proceeds will bypass probate. So there would be no probate fee applicable to these proceeds. Once these proceeds are in this person's hands, he or she is free to do with these proceeds whatever they want to, and one of their options would be to put those proceeds into their own TFSA if they have the contribution room. If they do not have a contribution room available in their own TFSA, they cannot make an extra contribution. The last category is what we were talking about today, is the successor holder designation. And again, only your spouse or common law spouse could be appointed as a successor holder of your TFSA. And the difference is that if when you pass on and your spouse is the successor holder of your TFSA, the proceeds of your TFSA will roll over to your spouse on a tax-free basis. Proceeds of your TFSA will bypass probate, but your spouse can allocate these proceeds to her or his TFSA, even though she might not have the contribution room. Just to make it very clear, we created this slide here, and as you can see, Bob and Mary. Bob's TFSA is the market value is $120,000. Mary's TFSA happens to be also $120,000, and Bob has appointed Mary as his successor holder or successor holder on his TFSA. When Bob passes on, the full market value, $120,000 from his TFSA rolls over to Mary's TFSA, even though she does not have the contribution room. When the funds are settled, the market value of Mary's TFSA is $240,000. As you can see, this is a huge advantage. So when you are in a spousal situation, when you do have a spouse, it would be very logical to appoint your spouse as a successor holder and to take full advantage of tax planning that is available. I hope I was able to provide some more clarity regarding your TFSA, more specifically regarding the successor holder designation. If you have further questions, feel free to send me an email. My email contact will be coming up. Thank you for tuning in today. Please like the channel, please subscribe to the channel, and see you next time.